Stopping this isn't just some crazy reality TV quarrel. It's a full-fledged attempted murder. Kirk Frost allegedly had a sinister plan in place on what was supposed to be a regular drive. But guess what? Mendeecees survived. Now, piece by piece, the truth is beginning to come to light. Scandal, as insiders divulge shocking revelations, the streets are ablaze. What really pushed Kirk over the line? Why would he take things this far? And above all, who revealed this startling information? Did a close friend betray him? Or did someone intervene to keep the issue from getting out of hand? There is no doubt that this is a double plot, including treachery, deceit, and a potentially fatal setup rather than merely chatter. We've got all the amazing details, so grab some popcorn because this mess is only getting worse. Mendeecees drove down that empty road without realizing the danger that lurked there, thinking it would be just another ride to clear his head. Little did he know that someone else had a different plan for how that night would end. And that someone was Kirk. Yes, the same Kirk who has been disparaging Mendeecees constantly. What was going on behind the scenes might have just escalated into something much darker. Now the streets are rife with rumors about whether this was a planned setup. And trust me, it's getting messier by the second word on the street. There were heated arguments, threats, and a lot of that "I'll handle this my way" attitude. Let's talk about timing because days prior to this alleged accident, Kirk and Mendeecees had another heated argument. But this wasn't just a small argument. Rather, it was the kind of one where people say, "If I see you, it's up." Then suddenly, this mysterious road incident left Mendeecees shaken but alive. Was this a coincidence, or was it a carefully planned plan that didn't work out? Things took a turn for the worse when Kirk allegedly began making serious threats. According to insiders, he was heard saying things like, "Me's is to be dealt with, and I'm not letting this slide." Rage. But after what transpired, it's unclear if Kirk truly meant what he said, especially considering his past grudges. This isn't his first run-in with Mendeecees, and it's certainly not the first time he's been accused of shady behavior. A year ago, rumors circulated that Kirk was involved in a covert plot to harm Mendeecees, either by ruining his business dealings or damaging his reputation. However, things now seem to have gotten worse. According to sources, Kirk had people following Mendeecees around at all times. If the rumors are true, this whole situation might be more serious than anyone realized. It's difficult to ignore how well-timed everything seems. Mendeecees was traveling down an empty road when suddenly the specifics are horrifying. And some people think Kirk knew exactly where Mendeecees would be that night when a barrier occurred, implying that this catastrophe was actually a botched attempt at something far darker. Ignore Kirk's unusual silence during dramatic events. Normally, he is the center of attention, but now he is laying low, avoiding questions, and waiting for the storm to pass before people start making connections. The tension between Kirk and Mendeecees has been too great to ignore. And let's not even discuss what happened after the incident, because that is where things get even more shady. Nothing wouldn't. You'd be claiming your innocence if you were wrongfully accused of anything this serious. From the roofs, Mendeecees has been largely silent in the meantime. But those close to him say he is certain that this wasn't just some strange accident. They say he told his people, "I know what's going on." This was a setup. If that's what he really thinks, you can bet he will be looking for answers because, let's face it, if someone really tried to take him out, he won't let that go unnoticed, and we can't ignore the witnesses. Oh yes, people saw what happened that night, and they said it wasn't just bad luck. The driver of that car disappeared before the police arrived. And why would someone flee if they had nothing to hide? According to some stories, Kirk wasn't merely behind the setup. He was literally present to see that everything went according to plan, which is where things take an even wilder turn. This is the same Kirk Frost who has been accused of shady dealings, has drama following him everywhere, and always has an explanation for why chaos breaks out around him. If all of this is true, it wasn't just a heated argument gone too far. Someone wanted Mendeecees off that road, and they wanted it to appear like an accident at this point. One insider who was reportedly close to the scene swears they saw a familiar-looking car parked nearby just before the accident happened. And guess what? That car allegedly looked exactly like Kirk's. We arrived. I can't ignore how Kirk has been acting lately. Is it just bad luck that his name keeps getting mixed up in mess after mess? Or is he really pulling the strings behind the scenes? Either way, the streets aren't letting this one go. And trust me, now that Kirk is avoiding questions, he's preparing for whatever comes next. Reports indicate that he's been consulting influential figures to find the full truth about that fateful night. And let me tell you, if he finds concrete proof that Kirk was responsible, things are going to escalate into a full-scale conflict. The real shocker is that there are whispers that Kirk is already planning his own retaliation. If Kirk thought he could pull a fast one and get away with it without any repercussions, he might want to reconsider his plan. Obtains indisputable proof that this situation will quickly get ugly. The tension in the streets is evident as everyone waits to see what will happen next. Will I strike first? Will Kirk finally speak up? Or is this only the beginning of a much larger conspiracy? There is no doubt that this drama is far from according to sources. Kirk is already making significant moves behind the scenes. And if the rumors are accurate, he may have just made the biggest mistake of his life. The stakes are extremely high, and everyone is watching to see how this plays out. If Kirk truly thought he could shake him up and walk away like nothing happened, he obviously underestimated his opponent. According to reports, he has been consulting legal professionals, business insiders, and even others with less than legal ties. If Kirk really attempted to remove him, he won't tolerate this. And this is where things become even stranger. After first remaining silent, Kirk is now frantically trying to contain the damage and is now behaving as though this whole situation is really a strange coincidence. The issue is that the evidence doesn't support him. It was only when people began to suspect him that leaked messages appeared online. And if they are authentic, they paint a totally different picture. According to screenshots, Kirk allegedly messaged someone a few days prior to the event, saying things like that guy believes he's untouchable and he got too comfy with that money. He won't see this coming. It certainly sounds like someone is planning something evil. And let's not forget that Kirk has previously been caught making inappropriate remarks. He has a history of starting arguments and then acting innocent, but this time he might have gone too far. Meanwhile, M isn't just lounging around. According to sources, he's watching his own investigation and assigning his staff to look through surveillance footage, phone records, and any other evidence that might reveal the truth. And here's the real twist. Rumors are circulating that Kirk had assistants, and the names being muttered are startling, leading some people to suspect that Kirk wasn't acting alone. Allegedly, he might have received help from members of Mrs. Inner Circle. Can you imagine believing you have devoted friends all around you just to discover someone? Being close to you was a part of a setup that is betrayal on a whole new level. And let's face it, if Kirk was planning something this big, you better believe he had to pay off certain people to keep the plan moving forward. But something went wrong because instead of me being taken out, he survived. Now, Kirk has a serious problem because when a plan goes awry, loose ends start to fall apart, and people are now speculating that one of Kirk's accomplices might be about to flip. If that happens, it's game over for Kirk because the moment one person starts talking, the entire house of cards falls apart. And Kirk knows this, which is why he has been acting differently, keeping his back and speaking quietly. What Kirk intends to do next is that he has already contacted authorities, possibly in an attempt to avoid the legal process. Some reports even indicate that authorities have tapped phones and are currently conducting covert investigations. If there is any concrete evidence that links this to Kirk's actions, he has taken them. However, this is where things take a crazy turn. Some sources say that I may not even be seeking legal justice, but rather that he is getting ready to handle this on his own. If I really think Kirk tried to remove him, he isn't the type to let that go unanswered. Which is why Kirk is probably sweating bullets right now. Whether it is through the legal system or the streets, payback is inevitable. So let's not pretend Kirk isn't aware that his entire energy has changed in just a short period of time. He's been keeping a low profile for a few weeks, avoiding certain people and places. And let's be honest, probably sleeping with one eye open. He knows that this isn't over and that when a man like me starts looking for answers, it never ends well for the guilty. Now that we've reached a crucial turning point, Kirk is frantically trying to hide his tracks while I'm getting ready for whatever comes next. The real question is what will happen when these two finally meet. Because trust me, that moment is approaching. And when it does, it will be explosive. If you thought this drama was messy before, you have no idea what's coming next. One thing is for sure though, this story is far from over. He won't stop until he finds the truth. That's the only thing that counts. The streets are humming and everyone knows that this isn't over. Kirk may be hiding to avoid the heat, but no matter how far he runs, the truth will eventually catch up with him. Let's face it, he's not built for this kind of pressure. And he thought he could play dirty and get away with it, but he's seriously miscalculated. Let's talk about the most recent bombshell has everyone on edge. If you thought the leaf messages were bad, wait until you hear this mysterious source. Yes. It's the kind that always shows up when things start getting serious drops, something enormous. There's a gas station security footage showing a black SUV following Mendeecees' car just minutes before the crash. And guess what, people? Claim that the SUV is compatible with a car, since Kirk has been seen driving previously. If this video is authentic, it's worth watching. What are the possibilities that Kirk's automobile was simply following men? It's no coincidence that D. Wright was run off the road. It was a setup. According to welder sources close to Mendeecees, he already has the footage and is planning his next move. But the interesting part is that he isn't rushing to expose it just yet. Mendeecees is playing chess instead of checkers because he knows Kirk still has influential people who might try to bury this if it leaks too soon. For this reason, rumors are circulating that Mendeecees is covertly distributing copies of the footage to ensure that when this bond drops, there's no getting around that. And if the allegations are accurate, Kirk might face more than just street retaliation. He could face major legal issues. As if that weren't awful enough for KK, there's another twist that could completely turn this situation upside down. There is another layer to this. According to some sources, Mrs. Legal Team is already getting ready to take action. And if Kirk is officially connected to this, we're talking about serious criminal charges. Let's face it, Kirk isn't exactly an innocent man. His name has been associated with shady dealings in the past. If law enforcement smells this, they won't just stop at this case. They'll start digging, and you know what happens when they dig. Kirk has a lot of skeletons. Disarray as Kirk tries to hide his identity. Not only is Mendeecees seeking justice for himself, but he also wants to know who else was involved. Because, let's not forget, there's been talk that Kirk wasn't acting alone. Someone helped make this happen, and he is determined to find out who it is. The worst part is that some sources say that Kirk's closest friend is already speaking. If that's true, the floodgates are about to open, and once they do, there's no turning back. Mendeecees has been having some really intriguing meetings, some with people you wouldn't expect. It appears that he is gathering intelligence, connecting the dots, and piecing together the truth. The most outrageous claim is that Kirk trusted them most, and that's when loyalty vanishes. People realize they might be held accountable for something they didn't sign up for. And believe me when I say that when one person flips the house of cards, the entire house of cards falls apart. Therefore, the biggest question is still what will happen when Mace and Kirk finally meet up because, let's face it, Kirk may be avoiding things for the time being, but he knows that the truth is coming at him and he can't run forever. When the truth is revealed, it won't just be about getting even anymore. It will be about exposing a snake, clearing a name, and ensuring that everyone knows exactly what happened. Way that fits his story. Will this leaked footage finally blow the lid off everything? And most importantly, are we about to see Mendeecees make his move? This is far from over. So now it's your turn to share your theories in the comments. If this has you feeling as shaken as we are, hit the like button if you want to stay ahead of the drama. Trust me, You don't want to miss what's coming next. We'll be right here breaking it all down as this story takes an even more bizarre turn. See you in the next one. See you in the next one.